So I kind of wanted to talk for a second about, I'm always talking about this representation. Representation. The reason that representation is important is because you need to understand, like, when someone has something, okay, what do they do with it? How do they treat it? What? How does the community react to it? What is normalized behavior? Now, in the black community, this is very strange. I just saw an Ann Coulter post where she's talking about like Becky's and Karen's, and she's talking about how you should be a Becky and not a Karen because Becky's stay alive. Now, I wish that this wasn't true. Like, I wish that I wasn't sitting here saying these things and always making a post about something that's negative, but I'm sorry. It's like every single woman I talk to has a story about assault. Like, I just met 2 women today who invited me to a self-defense class. That is the normal thing. And I think that one thing that we talked about, we were saying, like, okay, so like, oh, maybe all these crazy things are only happening in movies. And then one woman said, where do you think they get the ideas for these movies from? Because it happens in the real world. And I just want to like put something into context for you guys. Like, so if you think about everyone who's like alive right now, right? Like there's not like an unlimited amount of like, all of these single women or like really anybody. There's not like there's kind of like an equal amount for everyone to have like one. Like that's kind of the way that society is designed. But I mean, there are so many things happening right now with men who are just like not really taking their place in society. So like they're not getting married, they're not starting and keeping and raising families. They're just doing all of these other things, right? They're getting online on the internet. And they're doing all, and a part of that, the reason why I always talk about how OnlyFans is so awful is because, like, in the past, you could have, like, slut shaming, right? Where it's like, okay, so there's some woman and maybe she's promiscuous or whatever, and, like, guys could, like, collectively be like, we don't like you because you're promiscuous, we don't like you. But now it's like so many women are promiscuous, they can't. What they do is they like all kind of gather together in like bro huts, and then they like, it's like slut shaming on a whole other level. Like imagine if like the entire internet, on one hand, it's like they're like literally financing your sluttiness, right, by subscribing to your OnlyFans, but then they see you in real life and they like hate you, and they're like you can't go to the grocery store, you couldn't go anywhere in the real world. And so that's why these girls are like committing suicide, because it's awful, because the men in society are making it awful. It's them. And I think there's some people who don't understand a part of that. It's the same men who you guys are marrying, these shit people who are coming out here making other women die. Actually, like hearing the story of that girl is like not funny. And I don't care if you like OnlyFans or not. Like that's somebody's daughter, and she literally shot herself in the face. So if you think that that's funny, I think that you have a real fucking problem, because it's not just her. It's quite a lot of people. Like, whatever these girls are doing on these platforms or whatever, like, they're doing it because they're being paid to do it. And, like, the guys aren't doing any of the guy things anymore. They don't buy drinks at bars. They don't take women out to dinner. They don't do fucking anything. They just play video games and are, like, losers in basements. Like, nobody wants that. Like, no, like, literally nobody. Like, nobody is choosing these dudes. And they're out here on these podcasts pretending like, I heard a song today. It was with, what's some rapper? And he's like, we're not gonna wife her. We're not gonna wife her. Who wants to, like, wife the dude who works at Publix? I'm not even trying to be funny, but seriously. Like, that, he's not, like, this, like, wonderful catch that you should be, like, fighting for. That's not, like, these are the dudes who are, like, reciting the lyrics to this song. And I'm, like, listening to it, and they're, like, everybody's serious about this. So some dude, one guy on a music video, he's got a wad of cash. So him personally, he's talking about all these things that he does. Oh, I got this girl. Oh, I got that girl. Oh, I went here. Oh, I went there. That's great for him. But now all of the dudes who are listening to him have this false confidence, like they too have that. I think everybody's suffering from like the Lizzo syndrome, right? It's like Lizzo is, I'm sorry, she is out here like promoting obesity, which is completely unhealthy, unless somehow like cheering her on. You're like cheering her on as she like prepares to die. Like if Lizzo doesn't lose weight, she's gonna have a heart attack and die, and probably on stage. Just imagine how sad that will be if you were actually a Lizzo fan. It's like unhealth. It's like not healthy. Here's another actually good example. So it was like Jenna Ortega or whatever was like smoking a cigarette, and then her mom gets online and is like, that's unhealthy for you, and she posted all these links to like, you know, how cigarettes are bad for your health. Well, okay, that's an example of, you know, maybe a good role model, as opposed to like a bad one. At the same time, so I was actually going somewhere with this, and the point that I wanted to make is more about like partnership and how much farther you can get if you are actually in a partnership. Like, I think for so many, so I was talking about representation in the beginning, and this is why I keep posting things about like Lori Harvey, now Sabrina Elba, Cindy Bruno. There's just not that many other examples of black women in this society besides like Beyonce, but I don't want to use Beyonce as the catch-all for like all the experiences. I feel like her experience is already well documented, and we need like little younger black girls need like holistic stories about like how to live in the world that ain't Beyonce, because like most people are never gonna have an experience even similar to her. So you need other examples, and I'm trying to point out some. So like Sabrina Elba is kind of like literally showcasing to all of you who want to be like trad wives and housewives, like the black version of this. Okay, fine, go follow Sabrina Elba. Great example of this. Like, she's completely African. She like literally is married to Idris Elba. She's gorgeous, and she does all the super femme things. Like, you can watch her party like every single day. That's what it means to be like taken care of as literally like a black woman. But like, so it's kind of sad because like for so long we've had a million, gazillion, quadrillion examples of like this literal scenario happening for like white women, and I'm not upset about that at all. I think it's great that there are so many like white husbands, right? But in retrospect, the black community needs to like step up, and I mean, they don't really have to. I'm just saying, like, little black girls seem to want to trod down that path of conservatism and like becoming housewives, but you can't be a housewife if there's no husband. And all of the guys are promoting counterculture. See, it's like they're all Future. They keep doing what Future does, and they keep doing all of these things that are like breaking women and breaking society and promoting all of these things that are against the thing that they say they want. And then they're like, wait, why don't we have this? It's like you have to build it. You have to build it. It doesn't just come overnight. Like, this is what's so strange about like Diddy. Like, he was literally promoting that like weird dyke girl. He like was promoting her album like everywhere. And it was like, it was strange because it's like, I don't understand. Why wouldn't you promote just like, he could build an artist. He could build some artist that would be like a good role model for maybe like his daughters. Why didn't he just do that? But it's like, no, instead of doing that, he's like, act bad, act bad. Whatever, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that I'm out here like peachy keen or anything, but I also think like a lot of times my story gets way over exaggerated. Like, people are literally out here pretending that I am, you know, breaking marriages or like being a complete like slut or what. I can't explain the story because like I just don't go out enough or like do enough things to be like out there like that. Like, I'm not on anybody's jet. Okay, like that's not my personal story at all. So I'm not even sure how there's some, you know, I don't know. It's just not my story. It's weird. There are actual girls who are doing those things, and I feel like you guys are following them. They have all the things. They've got all the weaves, they've got the nails, they've got all of the purses, they've got the body implants. They got the money from the rappers who gave them the money to get all those things, and now they have them. So, like, I don't know what to say. Like, that's what happened. The money in society has to go somewhere. White men have been using it for their women. Black men have been using it for nothing. So, I don't know. I think it's true. I would be a Becky too. Stay alive. Staying alive is probably the most important. It's not all of them, but there are a significant number of black men who are dangerous. Literally. And every time, the funny part about this too, and I already told this story. So I told the story of the guy who raped me, right? And it's like, there are other guys who I know, who I worked with, who are friends with him. And they like go around with him. They all play video games together. Like, nobody cares. It's just like, it's not even a joke. It's just like it's just like, you know what? Let's just normalize this for everyone. There's like, I'm not going to be some advocate with like a poster and like, you know, like I shared my story once. I feel like that's enough. If there's some girl who's following me and who wants to understand maybe why I move the way I move, you can watch that video. Hopefully it helps, but it's not that helpful to share stories of trauma. But also, the thing is, like, the men are normalizing the trauma. Just in the same way that he did that to me, he probably did it to someone else, and he will probably do it to someone else. That's the thing about that. When guys do that and like nobody calls them out and the community normalizes the behavior, it doesn't stop. There's just like a new victim who's gonna come. He's gonna find somebody else who's like weaker, quieter, who has less advocacy than me, and he's gonna do the same thing to them. And then someone else, until maybe one day in his mind he might be like, ooh, I don't want to do this anymore, but probably not, because there's no reason for him to. Like, right? Like, nobody's gonna stop him. I'm not. No one at all. And it's weird. It's weird, and it's bad. But that's why you have people making commentary posts like that. And then people will get on and they'll be like, this is offensive, this is racist, this is something, this is blah blah blah. No, this is called making something to try to like protect someone. Like, why am I the only person talking about the thing that Blueface did as being really weird? Blueface is putting naked pregnant women in his music videos. American men are flying to Mexico every day to pay for $4 hookers. Like, these are real things that are happening. I didn't make this up. And all of a sudden, when I literally say the thing that's actually happening, I'm the person who's the problem. I'm the toxic one. I'm the liar. Like, it's just so weird. Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. It is.